Hello, my name is Claudia and today I have a new brand to review. This is SHEGLAM and the Rick and Morty collaborations. I have here the Never Rick and Morty Setting Powder, very interesting, and the Mr. Sanchez Cream Blush. I will talk a little bit about the brand. And just to let you know, I love Rick and Morty for the longest time, especially during the lockdown. I believe that would be around 2022, maybe early 2022, late 2021 for me. I was so into Rick and Morty. I love that show. I cannot say that I hate the existential crisis that the show gives me, but I will talk a little bit more about SHEGLAM is a brand. Also, why I decided to get these two products specifically from this collections and from this brand. I don't have anything on my face yet, so I think we could start off talking a little bit about the story behind this review, also behind the product, also my thought about SHEGLAM as a brand. And yeah, before we actually jump in reviewing and applying the product. So SHEGLAM, it's the makeup company that is under the same umbrella as Shein, which is a mad destructor of the environment. If you have ever known about the fast fashion industry, I don't particularly support SHEGLAM. I'm gonna put it out here. If it wasn't Rick and Morty collaborations, I would have never got any product from SHEGLAM. It's definitely not my choice of makeup when it comes to the ethical ground, the ethical perspective, if I put it that way. I know that there are multiple factors that contribute into our decisions when we pick the place or the manufacturer or the brands that we decide to shop our product from. And I totally agree that it's up to you and your judgment to decide where to shop. I particularly don't think that SHEGLAM would be a good brand for me to shop, regardless of how cheap the products are, how convenient it is. You can get makeup and then shop for clothes at the same time. You can literally get anything from that website, I believe. I've never shopped from that website. Also, out of more and more affordable options in the makeup market nowadays, I don't think that I have to go down the route of getting makeup from SHEGLAM. Like, from the same price range, I believe I can get products from less controversial brand. But I do believe if you decide to shop from SHEGLAM, I don't see any problem with that, because I know that the problem is more complicated, and that when we're talking about environmental issue, about welfare issue, about child labor, about unethical and subpar working conditions, that a large issue is related to macroeconomics and how we have to support the continuing of the supply chain, while acknowledging that we cannot control every aspect of it. And maybe Shein is a really good example of how we cannot escape that cycle when we think of affordability and ethical choices. I grew up in Vietnam, and a lot of products from a lot of brands in Europe, in the United States, in Australia, they place their factories in Vietnam, and I know the codependencies of cheap labor and how those brands can make profit. I totally understand that, but I also come to a realization that people in developing countries, we need those jobs regardless of how you would see it as unfair working contracts. Like, they pay they get paid at a very, very low rate, like lower than the living standard. But if it's not straight up slavery and abuse, people would still want those jobs. That's why they keep coming for those jobs. And I think the reality is that it's much more complicated than having a minimum wage in a lot of developed countries, like in the US, like in Australia, and set it as a base standard for every single industry. I couldn't say that would be the case in Vietnam, and more than that, I don't know anything about China. I've never studied or never worked in China. Don't know anything about their social and economical structures. I do believe that I don't have any knowledge to look into Shein or SHEGLAM A's brands that have ethically produced any product, but because it's too skeptical to even believe that, I would rather go for other options. And because it's skeptical, you can take it with a grain of salt, and you can support those brands depending on the level of your income, and that's okay. I don't have any problem with that. But we already know that fast fashion industry is very, very harmful for the environment, and I try my best to do whatever I feel right. Like, I go thrifting most of the time, and recently most of my clothes are from the thrift stores. That makes me feel good. In some occasions, I have to clarify that I got some pieces from Shein from the thrift stores because they are really cute. And even though I get those Shein items at the thrift stores, I feel like they are kind of cheaper, because obviously when you see Shein, the staff there would label them as a cheaper price compared to like other brands. Knowing that, and knowing the brand that those items was from, I feel like it feels better to me from that point of view, knowing that I get it secondhand. You know what I mean? So I do have excuses. I'm not totally moral in my decisions. Like, if I don't want to support Shein, I could just cut tie with it. Like, I don't need to get anything. I can just dissociate myself from the brand entirely. But in fact, I did get some pieces from Shein, from the thrift store. Am I in the bad here? And like I said, I bought 3 products from the brand SHEGLAM. Would it make me the worst person to support those brands? I think that's a gray area. Do I believe that they can produce good product? There's a potential in it. In general, with apparels and clothing, it's I don't know. It's a tricky questions, right? Because we have heard a lot about them. Didn't hold up at all. We can tell that they are poor quality. Everything breaks down within days. And once again, what it is, the cause of that poor quality, is it because of the raw material is not up to standard? Or is it because they make everything on such a massive scale and everything doesn't go through proper QA and QC process? They want to make clothing as fast as possible. That skip out a lot of qualification step. I don't know about that, like, so far, because I got so few items from the brand, and I don't really wear them on the daily basis. Maybe I don't notice any tears or any worn down or any defects in them yet. Like, I check it because I know that I get them from a thrift store. I know that I have to check, and so far I don't see any problem with those items. But maybe there is. Like, it's not just Shein, like every brand, like Con-On, that's affordable, Topshop, that's also affordable. I have defects when I get clothes from those brands too. So does it narrow down the checklist that we can use to evaluate those brands? I don't really know. But I think up to your experience. if you think that you're confident of your judgment, if you think that you're competent of making those decisions, so then it's up to you. When you get an item, you feel like, oh, this is poor quality. Well, then it is. Every purchase should suit your preference without being elevated up to other people's standards. You know what I mean? So it's all up to you to feel like, I want to get my money worth, and I will go to brands that make it a reality, and that's okay. And if you think Shein is one of the brands like that, or it is not, it's totally okay. And I don't like the verdict that says, oh, because I have lower income, Shein is the only place that I can go for. Because I'm up certain size, I can only go for Shein. I think that's rather an excuse, that's rather a lazy statement, knowing that if you don't think Shein is a good company, but if that's your only options, I don't think you try hard enough. I don't think Shein would be the only options just because it's the easy way. Knowing that, like, if you don't think it's an ethical company, you should look harder. Like, right? Like, should we put some extra effort? Should we go an extra length to find somewhat an ethical option up to our opinions? And it's just lazy to say that, oh, I go for Shein, like, accept the unethical aspect of it. No, you should only go for it if you can accept all the good and bad that comes with that decision, you know what I mean? That's why I think I came to a very difficult situation knowing that SHEGLAM was gonna come out with a Rick and Morty collections. And I think was Glamlight, that's the brand that had also come out with a Rick and Morty collections. The price point is a little bit higher, I agree with that. Also, I don't see any particular products that would provoke my interest to try a Rick and Morty makeup collections, but when I look at this collections from SHEGLAM, I feel like, oh, I would feel extremely horrible if I want to get these. But I was like, in a way, you can disagree with a brand and still love the products. I don't say that is an absolute statement. I'm in between about that. Like, I don't think SHEGLAM is a good makeup company. After all that, it's just too suspicious for me to believe it. And like I said, I have all the better options, but they don't make Rick and Morty collections, you know what I mean? So maybe I'm a hypocrite. I feel like I could do a better job waiting a little bit longer, getting some merchandise, like not necessarily makeup, but getting something that's still monumentary enough for me to remind me of Rick and Morty as a show, because it helped me so much through that difficult time. Maybe a solution is to consider these as merchandise, but not actual makeup. I don't know. I still think that from a very excusatory point of view, SHEGLAM is not as bad of a company as Shein. You can say that. You can say that I'm a hypocrite to justify it like that. But at the end of the day, I just want some Rick and Morty makeup. I don't think this is the best decision that I've ever made in my life. I'm not proud of it. But I do love the fact that I struggle a little bit to get these. And I don't want to come up as dishonest to you that, oh, I'm okay with this. I don't think this is okay. And I'm totally not okay with saying, oh, not supporting Shein and SHEGLAM is totally okay, and then I get some products from them. I struggle with that, but I do actually want to test, and just to let you know my honest opinions about the quality of the product. So like I said, this is a cream blush, and this is can we? And then the cream blush is actually his brain. Come on, like, I don't know what to do. Look at this is so cute. And I tried the cream blush a couple of times already. I don't think it's amazing, and because it's not amazing, I think if you don't think about SHEGLAM is a brand that could give you amazing quality, like exceptional, you can definitely skip it. Like, I don't think this quality is anywhere more special than, like, say ColourPop or Revlon or some cream blushes from K-beauty brands. They are amazing, but I do think this is a very nice cream blush. It's so blendable with the right level of pigmentation to me. This is like a neutral pink that I would wear on a daily basis. This is definitely my color, so I don't reject the idea that SHEGLAM could produce such good products and good for the price. And it's very easy to work with. The pigmentation is not so crazy, so I can just add more like this, and I believe it will look okay if you keep building it to the intensity level that you would like. I'm just a little bit wary that, oh, the brand is not gonna hold the shape of the brand anymore if I keep using the product, but it's okay. I think I just need to use the product inside, and I can always keep the head as the decorations. This is so cute. I had a discussion with my boyfriend. He's a writer. He has a master's degree in professional communications, in film study and writing, and he tell me that the writing of the show Rick and Morty is really good. And I was like, I agree with that, not from like a writing and storytelling point of view, because I don't know much about that, but I think that's a very good show too, in the way that it touches some deep, sentimental and psychological issue that you never think, because it's set in like a sci-fi world when, you know, intergalactic travel is feasible if you are a genius at Rick level. But it's like you see Rick from his universe is one thing, but then he have met up with other Ricks in other universes, and you was like, so are you alone in this universe? From a scientific level, that's intriguing. That's intriguing. And it tells me that there are always consequences from our actions. You can see that in a lot of past actions, also in a lot of the adventures. Let's test out this powder. This is, like I said, the Rick and Morty Never Rick and Morty setting powder, and this is the coolest powder that I ever had. It has this holographic effect. Is that what it's called? Like, you can actually see two images at certain angle. I'm not sure if I can tell you what it is right now. Like, just to let you know that from one angle is the normal Morty, and from another angle is the evil Morty, the one with the black eye patch. Such a cool concept. Like, when you think that in any universe, Rick is always the genius guy and Morty is always the sidekick, like the awkward and some sort of a useless guy in the story, and then you have evil Morty. Such a cool character. Like, it makes you wonder if there's any possibility in that kind of conflict, like whether you are really that smart, whether you have already gotten defeated by your own weaknesses. I actually don't want to ruin this cool picture, that cool effect on the pan, so every time I try to use this powder, I try to like touch at the white parts of the paint It's like, but I don't know how it's gonna hold up. And I know that if I touch the photo, the color part of the paint, it won't generate much color. Like, I know this kind of product. This is only the spraying, I assume, on the paint, but I really don't want to ruin it. So like every time I try to use this powder, I just touch whichever part that doesn't have the good effect on it. I just feel like this is so cool. And something about the collection with glam liner, I don't see this cheesiness. And Rick and Morty, it's a deep, like I said, sentimental. It's definitely gonna give you existential crisis if you actually understand the underlying message of a show. Or if you don't think it's too gory and too gross, you definitely gonna like it, and you're definitely gonna start questions your own behavior and your own interactions with your family and with your friends and with your own actions. There's always consequences arising from the actions of all the characters, and that's what I love about Rick and Morty. It taught me a lot about consequences and causality. Even when you don't think they're related, you have to be responsible for a lot of your actions, and more than that, some actions that's really not under your control, you still have to be responsible for it, and you just have to wait for the result to come and deal with it in some cases. And that's very haunting, to know that we have less control over our actions than we thought. I do think the quality of the powder is quite good. It's definitely mattifying and smoothing. Based on what I see right now, it's quite lovely. The powder, is it an extremely amazing powder? I don't think so. Once again, it's just a pressed powder. The blurring is not phenomenal, and I'm not sure if I like the fact that I can only use the white part. It makes it just a translucent powder. If it's anywhere near the LYS powder, my LYS triple fix setting powder, I would appreciate it more. That powder is a translucent powder, but because of the very, very slight tint on the pan, maybe that's the reason why it lays on top of my skin so smoothly and so flawlessly. It does look like skin, and it's so blurry. This one is okay, but I can definitely see the whitening effect of a white powder, and I don't see that as an issue. You know what I mean? Like, I know white powder, they have a tendency to be a little bit wide but still remain translucent, so I'm not mad about the color. It's just not my favorite. Similarly with the cream blush, I don't think it's an amazing cream blush. It's not something that I want to stock up. Like, if I run out of it, I might just keep it as a decorations. And similarly with the powder, I really like the idea of it. Like, I would say review the Morty, and I just really like the idea of having a pen embossing with two Mortys in it. Such a cool design. In these collections, they do have some lipsticks, lip glosses, I believe, and an eyeshadow palette. I'm not interested in the eyeshadow palette. That's not my color story. I don't think that I would get so much use out of the palette. That's why I didn't get it. I almost got, this is my confession, I almost got the setting spray that look like a cucumber. I think it's called Gherkin Rick or something. Is one episode when he turned himself into a gherkin just to avoid therapy. Like, that's an amazing episode, and he had his own little adventure. There's some rats involved, and such a goal. Like, he's a genius, turned himself into a cucumber, and they can still make such good stories out of it. I have to agree with my boyfriend. The writing in that show is so good. I didn't get it because, like I said, I just want to get these collections as maybe merchandise, and I already have this. Actually, this is my boyfriend. Someone gave him as a gift or something because they know that he loves Rick and Morty as well. I have a hugging pillow that's shaped like gherkin Rick. So I didn't get that setting spray, but like I almost, because it's so cute. That's the blush and the powder. I just want to finish this look and then we can do a little wrap up. I think I say all of the parts that I want to say about this collection. Not this collection, about the products that I got from the Rick and Morty and SHEGLAM collections already. So wow, this is pigmented. I'm using the Rush palette from Melted Cosmetic, and holy moly, it's very pigmented. That's one dip in the pan and I have to use it for both eyes. Wow, that's very pigmented. And I'm using this Too Faced, what's it called? I don't have the name of the product, but I believe it's a natural lip color or something. This is such an old lipstick already. I have a shade Girl Code. Yeah, and I just want to finish the look with that. Product wise, I think this cream blush is really nice. This powder is really nice as well. And if you look at the price, I believe this is, I don't remember the price to be honest, but I do believe they are under $10, around $6 to $7 or something. So take it as you will. I feel like I can still like the products without any intention to support SHEGLAM as a brand. I bought this product because in a way I want to support Rick and Morty. I know that the team that make Rick and Morty, they will get some sort of commissions, they will get some sort of benefit from these collaborations, and I totally support Rick and Morty. I don't support SHEGLAM. I can get some merchandise, I can get some decorations, I can get some Christmas ornaments that are inspired by characters or like moments in the show. I can totally do that, but I want to get something that I can actually use. And I think from an environmental point of view, getting something that you can actually use up, hypothetically, I don't think that I would use up some of my makeup product, but a cream blush and a powder is something in theory I can use up. So I would take it as a responsibility for me to know what I would use and what I will not let get into waste. If I get a decorations, if I get like a poster, I wouldn't be able to use it the way that I use my makeup. And even if I don't think SHEGLAM is a good brand, I do feel like they deserve some credit for producing good product. Like, who knows what brands are ethical, what brands are not, and what brand to support, what brand not to. Like, I'm still finding the set of items on my checklist to justify which brand that I would support eventually, and that's not easy. Like, it takes a lot of responsibility and a lot of like thinking and processing any sort of data that you can collect from those brands, and it's not black and white in this era. Like, you have to like look at it and then make your own judgments. It's always a question like, can you support the author knowing that is a bad person, but their products and their intellectual values are so admirable? Like, would you still support them if you know that in a way they are not good people? It's really hard to me, but from my point of view, I support Rick and Morty. That's why I feel like I can get this product. Not that I am not allowed to in a way, but like, if it's justifiable for me to get this product, and I hope you understand. If you watch this video and you disagree with me, it's okay for you to leave a comment and let me know what you feel. But I say what I say. I think I make decisions to get these products and I'm responsible for it. But I feel like to me this is a feel right and feel good decisions holding these products on my hand. What do you think? Once again, I'm Cloudy and hopefully we see each other again. Bye.